Tonight, family of a Babonneau man who was swept away after heavy rain say he was assisting others when tragedy struck. The chief medical officer assures parents that science shows that children are safer from COVID at schools, and local fishermen are dealt a major blow due to the St. Vincent volcanic activity. The details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Tuesday, the 13th of April, 2021. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. I'm Lovelace St. Amy Joseph. A special hello to our viewers watching via our free-to-air digital antenna. Thank you for joining us. A community is in mourning as the body of a bogus man has been found. Relatives say Gilbert Anthony was rendering assistance to residents when he was tragically swept away by the Bogus River.
Heavy rainfall on Monday has claimed the life of a bogus man after being swept away by flood waters. According to family members, Gilbert Anthony, better known as Fire, was attempting to help a few men to recover vehicles that had gotten stuck. A community member recounts the incident.
They had some cars. They had two cars parked on the side of the road. And some fellows were trying to save the car. But himself, I don't know if his tray was trying to go and help them. He took out his water boots and he jumped in the water. But they say a big, some rubbish was coming down, and that's what that washed him away.
According to reports, the Babonneau Fire Service spearheaded a search for Anthony on Monday, but had no success. His sister was at work when the incident took place.
He not stay at my home, but he was moving in, out. I was cooking food for him, and he always come and check me. And about 5 days, I never see him, but all the time I cooking food for him. I have to leave it in the fridge. And while I'm at work, they call me Idro. He was a good person. No problems, nobody around here. No problem. He was very nice with everybody.
This man was there when Anthony's body was discovered.
But it halfway like but just pray one time.
The body of the father of 6 was found in Kako Babonneau. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
Thank you, Nisha. In just under 1 week, schools island-wide are expected to reopen their doors, and according to the island's chief education officer, no stone has been left unturned to ensure the full safety and wellness of students and teachers alike. Dr. Fiona Philip-Meyer says all factors and concerns have been and will continue to be addressed to ensure that this final term is completed successfully. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
School will reopen on the 19th of April. This is based on the guidance of the Department of Health. We continue to work collaboratively with them, and it is very important to tell the general public that it is based on their guidance that this date has been proposed.
This is the official declaration of the reopening of schools island-wide made by Chief Education Officer Dr. Fiona Philip-Meyer on Monday evening on the Government of St. Lucia's official Facebook page. Dr. Philip-Meyer said, the discussion continues on the matter. However, the health and well-being of all in the education sector, namely students and teachers, remain paramount for the Ministry of Education and, in essence, the Government of St. Lucia. The CEO highlighted the reopening of the early childhood sector, where private schools were opened on the 6th of April, whilst public daycares and preschools will be reopened on the 19th. She said more attention will be placed on this sector. Dr. Philip-Meyer said the ministry has noted the challenges associated with the reopening, having missed out on vital face-to-face interactions between teachers and students throughout the majority of the academic year. She also noted the anxieties associated with the reopening of schools from students, and so she said measures have been put in place to ensure a smooth start.
We noted the challenges associated with virtual and online distributed learning for our children, and so an opportunity for them to get back into the physical space, again based on a safe environment for all stakeholders and under the guidance of the Department of Health. Our primary students, our secondary students, we hope to welcome them back. We know that there is some anxiety as many of them have been out, and in some cases we've had abrupt ends to the school setting. So through the Office of our Guidance Counselors, we are helping them readjust to the face-to-face interaction. But we also encourage our parents likewise. Pay attention to your children. Listen to them. Speak to them about how they feel. But encourage positivity as they go back into the physical setting for the final term of this academic year.
The CEO gave assurances that steps have been taken to ensure that students and teachers alike will be stationed in facilities conducive for learning.
Our team at the Department of Education, health and safety officers, have been on the ground. They have done school visits up to every district and every school. We have the reports on them in terms of readiness to receive our children. We are pleased that this is a continuation of the process that had begun in January, where we were prepared and various protocols had been put in place. Infrastructure in terms of hand washing stations had been placed. We've reviewed this, and areas where there was need for improvement, that has been done. The environmental health team has also been very good, working closely with us, in particular at the early childhood centers, and assessing them and also identifying the ones that are ready to receive children based on the adherence to the protocols.
The third term is the shortest in the academic year. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
The island's chief medical officer is reaching out to parents on a scientific level to assure them that sending their children back to school come the 19th of April is a safe bet. Dr. Sharon Belmar-George says the facts show that school is not the COVID-19 breeding ground that it is perceived to be, and so parents should not be fearful of sending their children in.
As schools island-wide prepare to reopen their doors to students come next week, Monday, April 19th, the island's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar-George, is breaking out the scientific statistics to assure parents and guardians that their children will be safe at their respective educational institutions. Dr. Belmar-George said no efforts were spared to ensure that the health and safety of students and teachers will be catered to. She said science shows that the fears surrounding the return to schools are unfounded.
Over the past year, the Ministry of Health and Wellness has been working closely with the Ministry of Education to coordinate the safe, sustainable reopening of schools. The school environment is not classified as one of high risk. The school administration, with the support of staff, can work together to ensure a safe environment is maintained. Children under 18 years of age represent 8.5% of cases in the US setting and less than 5% in the UK and EU settings for COVID-19. In St. Lucia, children under 18 years make up to 9% of cases to date. Generally, this age group presents with mild or asymptomatic disease. There have been no deaths to COVID-19 in this age group in country. Current evidence suggests that children are less likely than adults to be transmitters of the disease, and child-to-child transmission is uncommon at schools.
The CMO went on to further debunk common misconceptions and replace them with facts.
Schools have not been associated with significant increases in community transmission. Some of the considerations include the following: the continuity of education for the overall well-being, health and safety of children, the impact of school closures on educational loss, equity, general health and well-being of children, minimizing the risk of COVID-19 transmission within school and school-associated settings, reducing the risk of community spread from schools. In an effort to address these, the following have been recommended: the psychosocial support when needed to address fear and anxiety, medical support provided through the support of the community wellness centers, the availability of safe, effective vaccines to all staff of the educational sector, ensuring school-related measures are integrated and support measures implemented at the community level, the provision of accurate, updated information to staff and parents to counter misinformation, the training and sensitization of all staff members, and the management of stigma and discrimination at schools.
The CMO said whilst concerns are noted and understood, she said fear cannot continue to hold back and cripple the progress of the island's education sector. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, St. Lucia to say goodbye to the Common Entrance Examination after this year. Local fisherfolk on edge due to the La Soufre eruptions. And organizations pool resources to render assistance to Vincentians.